Hello, SOA. I'm your host, Ava.
And Beckett, and welcome to the Whistle Notes podcast. This is the special Valentine's Day episode.
Today we are joined by Mr. and Mrs. Morelli.
Hey guys.
How's it going?
So go ahead and start with a little personal intro. So how long have you taught, and what do you teach at SOA?
I've total taught for 16 years, 10 years at SOA, 6 at a different school, and 3 years now in English too.
Only taught here 10 years?
Maybe 11 years.
Oh. I was like, that can't make sense. I've taught at SOA for 10 years, teaching overall for 13, and I teach AP Human Geography and Honors U.S. History in the high school.
So how long have you two been married?
We're about to celebrate our 3rd wedding anniversary in March. So, it's like soon.
It is soon. 3/11.
Yeah, it's in March.
So how did you meet?
We met at school.
What was the story?
You want to tell the story?
You can tell your version of it.
Okay, I guess maybe we have different versions. Excuse me. Getting over a little bit of a cold, but so Mike taught in the 7th grade for like a million years, and I was teaching in the 8th grade. He moved up, and we were just friends, like normal colleagues and coworkers. And then the pandemic hit, and we lived like really close to each other. Like he lived in an apartment building like 2 minutes from where I was. So we would just kind of like go on walks and talk, and it kind of started from there. Yeah.
That sums it up. I will say, I think at first I was a little skeptical of you being an English teacher coming into the 8th grade.
Oh, yeah.
And you didn't want to teach grammar at all, and I gave you a hard time about that.
Oh, yeah, I'm not a grammar fan. I was like, I'm not teaching that.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, absolutely not.
I don't like grammar either. So while we're filming this, it's our 2nd week back from school after a week of only one half day, because we had Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday, an early release on Tuesday, and then snow days for the rest of the week. So how did your snow days go?
They were long. Having snow days with lots of children at home is a long time, but it was good. It was nice. It was nice to have a break, but we have 3 kids, and one of them is really little and did not like the snow, so he did not.
Yeah, I think just that was the first experience he had with snow.
Yeah.
So just going outside and the screaming, and it's a lot of work.
We didn't last very long in the snow, but our big kids enjoyed it, so that was fun. That was nice. Yeah.
So we actually had SOA students send in pictures of their snow days. So let's take a look at those.
And if you're listening on audio and didn't get a chance to actually see those, we'll have those up on our Instagram at whistlenotes_pod. So feel free to check those out. So we know that obviously you have your Valentine's, but what would you say to a student who's maybe nervous about asking out theirs?
I mean, I say it all the time. You just got to live your truth. Why be scared in the moment? It just keeps you back. We've talked about that with proof rock in our class.
we have.
It's not something you're just going to live to regret. So
I think for most people too, like asking someone out is like it makes other people feel good. Like even if they might like not want to, like I think being honest and earnest is always the best. Like, case of action, like you just got to do it, which is hard. And do it in person, not via text, not via your friends. Like it has to be done in person.
Yeah, for sure. So we also have some questions that students sent in. We made our staff send in questions as a part of their task. So we're going to read those for y'all, and y'all can answer those. So Alana sent in, why did you guys both get into teaching?
well, I can vividly remember being in, I think it was probably 11th grade. And I remember I went to a Catholic school. My teacher, Brother Art, he introduced me to a book called The Lords of Discipline, Pat Conroy. And from that moment, I think I just wanted to inspire that type of feeling for reading. I think that was the beginning of wanting it. I mean, I could probably even go back remembering elementary school and playing teacher. So, it's probably ingrained in me from the past, but I think that moment in 11th grade, being introduced to that type of literature, that really inspired me.
So I actually dropped out of college. So I started my freshman year, went really far away, moved to New York City, and dropped out and moved to California and worked in a preschool. And at first, like, I did not really want anything to do with teaching. Like, it's what my mom did. Both my grandparents are teachers, and I was like, ew, no, I don't want to be a teacher. And then working in that preschool was so much fun, and the kids were amazing. And so then from there, Went back to college, got my degree in education, and just loved the students. I think for me, like, I like what I teach, but I do it because I like the kids. Like, I would
Yeah.
not come to school if there were no kids.
Yeah.
Don't love other adults, don't love, but which is like everyone's like thing,
Yeah.
everyone has their stuff that they like, but for me it has always been kid centered.
So your mom actually teaches here now,
Yes,
right? How's
she
that?
does. It's amazing. I actually love that my mom is here. She helps us so much with the kids. She like makes us dinner a lot. She'll make us lunches. She's just she's really helpful.
That's
So.
good. So Ellis, actually, our photographer behind the camera, sent in another question. Becca, I'll let you.
Have you both ever participated in the fine arts before?
I mean, be more specific. I guess like I play guitar, so yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that would be one.
started that back in freshman year of college. My college roommate introduced me. My dad's like huge musician, piano, banjo, guitar. Always tried to get us into that stuff. And I took piano, I think, when I was in middle school. And just kind of burned out because I was more into athletics, but and kind of had to choose between which to do. I just chose soccer, but yeah, my college roommate got me into it, and I think that really made my dad happy. But he was like, "Why didn't you do this earlier?"
Yeah.
But I've been playing for a good 20 years.
I also did more athletics when I was growing up. Played soccer, played tennis, did swim, but I was in plays like in middle and high school, which I loved. And I danced, so those were really kind of the main things.
That's good. What was your favorite like type of like genre in dance?
I really liked ballet or like
Yeah.
contemporary. Hip hop is probably my favorite to watch, but I'm not good
Yeah.
at it, so cannot do it. I don't have that type of rhythm, but it's my favorite to watch.
So Reese sent in, how do you help each other with teaching? Do you ever like help with like grading papers or?
I think we keep the work at work. I try not to. Like, I guess this morning I was making a quiz for you guys, but it's very rare, and,
Yeah.
and we try to make sure that if we do have to bring work home, that we do it in times where it's not infringing on each other's time. So that's really special to have that kind of alone time, and so we try to make sure that we.
Yeah, we don't really talk about school all that much outside of school. I think really the only thing that we do participate in though is like trying to keep each other positive. Like I think the year can be long. Sometimes there's, some things that can be frustrating as you go on in teaching. Not anything with the kids, but just like outside forces. And so we try to just keep each other calm. Him keeping me calm more so.
Yeah.
Last year, you really helped me
Yeah.
with. I think that's the important thing. I mean, negativity can creep in any profession, and so just making sure that you have that positive, because we have to put on a face. The minute that door shuts and we start teaching, we can't let the outside forces
Yeah.
affect what we are presenting to the class. We have to make sure that you guys are getting what you deserve. So
He's better at that than I am. And I am more of an emotional person / teacher, but yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that we do is just try to keep each other positive in
Yeah.
the job.
Go ahead and ask them.
So Libby asks, how did you two meet, and what is it like to be married and work together?
So we kind of talked a little bit about how we met, but we could talk about what it's like to work together.
yeah, I mean, teaching is such a separate profession. You're in your own classroom. You don't really see anybody. We don't have planning period this year, so I don't even see her on those off times. And every once in a while, we'll stop and chat for a little bit. But it's good. I think that that kind of separation. But I mean, we even had when we were working with the Westbrook job, we worked together, and it's never been in anything that
I love working together.
It's great. I think some people will say like you're always with everywhere you go. Like, you're 24/7 because other couples will have different jobs and they go different places. But we drive together. We do everything together.
Yeah, we drive together, we eat lunch together. I like it. I don't know. I think it's nice to like know, like I think when you're married and then like your husband or your wife goes off to work, there's like this whole other life you don't like know anything about,
Mhm.
which is positive for a lot of people. But I think for us, we're really connected, and so we like being together a lot of the time. So like eating lunch together, riding to school together is like a good time to chat and talk.
Oh, I just went to Michigan and was away for you for what, 4 days? It was a bummer. Yeah, that was a long time.
Sorry, guys, we have some technical difficulties. Maybe just try press. There you go. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, I know. I forgot that sometimes the audio cuts out. So if the audio is bad on that, sorry. Allie asked, where was y'all's first date, like as an official couple?
That's a good question.
Oh,
Can you
no.
think of that?
First
I remember
date.
going to Folly Beach, if you remember
Oh,
that.
yeah, and like walking.
Yeah, and kind of just doing
Yeah.
that little.
I mean, it's so, because we started like dating kind of at the tail end of COVID. So like there wasn't, like people weren't like going out and stuff. So I think Folly Beach probably.
I would assume.
Yeah.
We did solo. We did a couple beach trips.
Yeah, we did.
Early on.
Yeah.
That would consider to be first date-ish. Remember laying in the road.
Oh yeah, the
Right.
notebook thing. Yeah.
The notebook thing.
Y'all did the notebook thing?
Well, yeah, because there was no one out. It was COVID, and I was like, let's lay in the road and see how long until a car comes. And it was like hours. There was like no cars at all.
Oh, that's really cute. Okay,
Forgot
you can
about
read that.
Adelina asks, what drew you to each other when you first met?
One thing I think that people don't realize about my lovely wife is how smart she is. This
Really intelligent.
you are, you know, she
Really
loves to
nice.
brag that she's got her master's from Johns Hopkins, but no, she's very passionate, and I think that comes out when she really gets into something she really cares about, and teaching. We both care about that, so it's really easy to have deep conversations and get into that and really see that passion come to life.
I think for me, he's like really steady, like really, like no, I wouldn't say non-emotional because like you have emotion, but I think I am very like up and down. And I think having like a steady presence is like really calming, just someone who's really like, okay, yeah, we can handle this together. Like I know that nothing, like no big life event would like send him into a tailspin, someone who is really steady and calm, and someone who is a really good father is super appealing to me anyway. And yeah, so
Yeah.
did that answer the question?
Yeah, for sure. So you're pregnant right now.
I am.
Yeah, you are.
I am.
Last time you were pregnant, you were teaching when you were still teaching the middle school, right?
No, I was teaching you.
You were
Wasn't I
teaching me?
te-
No, you
Oh, no,
weren't.
no, before.
Well,
I
the
was
year
in the high
before.
school. It was my
Yeah.
first year in the high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So how was that compared to this pregnancy?
the first pregnancy was a lot harder for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it was just like the first time, but I think, my journey to motherhood has looked a lot different than most people. So I already had 2 kids at home being pregnant for the first
Yeah.
time. So I think that was interesting because it was like, okay, I'm, doing the mom thing, but I've never been pregnant before. And so this one has been a lot easier, I
Yeah.
think. And my emotions have been a lot steadier this go around, I think, than the first time, maybe just because I know how to manage it more.
Yeah.
And what I need to like be healthy and have a healthy pregnancy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Becky, do you have anything you want to ask them?
Let me think. I think we should ask him questions that aren't really Valentine related.
sure.
I mean, I know you love teaching. I know you love teaching the kids, but like you say, the book drew you in to teach English to kids. What drew you to teach geography?
So actually my grandfather was a history professor, and so he drug us to like every battlefield known to man. I've been to every battlefield in the country. My parents used to do like reenactments of like the Revolutionary War, so which is super embarrassing, but so we would get dressed up in like time period, and my dad would like go out and like pretend to be like a soldier, and we would just like, it kind of was like a camping trip. So and just like the movies that I watched as a kid and the books that I read, they were all history centered. And I just really liked it. So I think in terms of what I like teaching, history has always been my favorite, mainly because it was what I was exposed to. Yeah.
And so you also teach psychology honors, right?
No, I teach U.S. history.
Oh, U.S. history. Okay.
I will say that like in the history department here, like because it is so small, I mean, you guys know it's a small school, that like we get choices in what we teach, but it really depends on like the number of students or like who wants to teach or like, who kind of has seniority and who, what age level people want to teach. So I think it kind of shifts, so I'm open to like teaching anything within the history realm.
Yeah. So what is the size of like our school as compared to your high schools?
Well, your high school is pretty small, but mine was big. I actually went to a huge public high school.
Oh, wow.
A few years ago, it was considered one of the #1 dropout high schools in the country. It's a Title I school.
Wow.
My school, I think, has 4,000 kids. We started with like 1,000 freshmen, and as time went on, we graduated, I think, 300. So
Oh,
a lot
wow.
of movement, a lot of
Yeah.
heavy dropout rate.
Yeah.
Yeah. My high school experience was much different than yours.
Yeah. How was y'all's high school experiences?
Well, I went to an all guys high school. Like I said, Catholic school. It was fairly small. I guess about 100. I think we graduated with about 100 people. A little less than that. It starts with a lot more when you were a freshman, and then kids kind of weed out and go back to
Yeah.
public schools, and so yeah, it was interesting. Like the school I went to was more focused on. We had a really good academic. A lot of the kids went to a high quality University of Michigan, Penn, Yale, Harvard.
Yeah.
It was a very good academic school, but we also really excelled in athletics, and so that drew me there. It was really my oldest brother that kind of started the trend, and
Yeah.
I have 3 older brothers. So once he went, we kind of all just
Yeah.
followed suit. But we
Yeah.
we all went kind of there for athletics, though.
Yeah, and mine was, huge public high school. I guess it would be considered like a Fort Dorchester type or like a West Ashley, like really
Okay.
large. Although I think those schools are probably better than the high school I graduated from. But the area I grew up in too is also very different than Charleston. A very like poor area, so there was like lots of gang stuff going on in my high school. Just a very different experience in SOA.
Yeah.
Let's say that. But I loved it. It was fun.
Yeah.
Really huge into athletics. We had a really good football team. Just a very traditional high
Yeah.
school.
What are the students like here compared to that?
Oh my gosh. Students here are teaching. It's like a dream world. This is not like a real place to teach. Students here are just the best. They say thank you. They're nice. They're engaged. They want to
Yeah.
be there. I think for me, like my high school experience was maybe a little different than like everyone else that was going there. Unfortunately, in the 90s and the early 2000s, kids were tracked. So you were either put on like an AP honors track or you weren't. And so like I only really had classes with like 60 other kids.
Oh, wow.
And then they just kind of like rotated. So like I feel like I had a good educational experience, and the kids that I was like in classes with were similar to kids at SOA, but
Yeah.
the large overall population was really different.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't, like here at SOA, like kids leave their AirPods and like they don't get stolen, or
Yeah.
like kids are really respectful and like they're nice to kids that are, maybe a little bit different than them, and that was not how my high school was. Also and I think this, and I've said it before too, kids I've taught, but I think there obviously were, but there were no like gay kids or transgender kids at all in my high school, like 0. So that I knew of. There had to be, but it just wasn't an open, and that could be the time period, that could be the school, but very, very different than here.
Yeah, I guess the kids in my high school were, respectively fairly similar to the population we have here. Very talented, very smart, driven. It was an all guys school, and guys could be, when they get together, can be pretty cruel. And so we had a lot of stories of somebody let a bunch of crickets out into the school hallway one
gosh.
time. They had to shut down school for that. Snowballs were constantly brought in the winter. Boys can be pretty ruthless, and they did
Yeah.
some ruthless things.
Do you have anything to say?
I don't have anything else to say, but maybe one of the people behind the camera has a question to ask.
Does anyone
No.
want to come on real quick and ask a question? You can't really get up because you do have a whole like switchboard in your lap, but we can maybe like bring the mic to you. You're good. Ellis, do you have anything to add?
Okay, Brew? No.
Okay,
Shaking the head.
Come on. Here, you just come right over here. I don't
I-
know if you're in frame, but that's okay.
Okay.
Either
My
way, Ellis is here. Okay.
my question is, what do you think about SOA's current middle schoolers, and how do you think they'll affect like the high school when they do come up?
Everyone asks this. Everyone is so negative about
The middle school?
just like the kids below them. And I'll tell you what, I have to say that I never listen to you guys or the older kids when they're like, "Oh, these middle schoolers are so bad." I think, you mature,
Yeah.
you grow up.
Yeah.
And I think there's a little bit of like a competitiveness among like the older kids versus the younger kids.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I can recall in my high school, just being a senior, being on the soccer team, we had high hopes to winning states, and we didn't live up to that, But the next year, they ended up winning it, and a lot of those kids were sitting on the bench, and you start to think, well, maybe they should have been playing, So I think in the current year, you think that you're the best, that you should be, you're older, you're the best, and that everybody else behind you has got something to learn.
Yeah.
But I do think there's a lot of maturing that goes on. Kids grow up, they get, and they'll be good. I think there's a lot of talent that comes through this school, and it's impressive to see every year just the amount of things you're able to do.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yep. Well, I think you'll like the 8th graders that are coming next year.
I mean,
Because I like the 8th graders this
Oh,
year.
good. Okay.
It's a good group of people.
Yeah. I will say that some years are like, it's interesting. Every year kind of has their thing,
Yeah.
depending on like, I don't like the 9th graders this year are so nice.
Yeah.
Like they are really nice. They're engaging. They want to be there. They want to learn.
Mhm.
Wouldn't say that about every group of kids.
That could be different.
But I mean, every group has their thing, Some
Yeah.
in the years where like I thought the kids were a little bit more difficult, those are some of the years that I like have the best relationships with some of the kids. So I think it
Okay.
like ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
You just never.
Well, you're
know.
really close with the junior class because you have taught them
I
like
love the junior
multiple
class.
years in a row. So how is
4
Yeah.
years?
you did the junior ring ceremony, right?
I did. Yes.
So how did that go? What was that
Um,
like for you?
It makes me really happy and sad watching you
Yeah.
guys grow up. It's the best thing about SOA. But like, I get to teach kids multiple years. And like Beckett, I taught in the 8th grade, taught in the 9th grade, which is like really cool. But I think that junior class especially, have moved up with them every year.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to like see what they do, but it's sad like watching you guys grow up. It's hard as a teacher because you're just like my own kids, like you want them to be independent and go off and have a great life, but like
Yeah.
at the same time you're like, but don't
Yeah.
leave me here. But yeah, I just love that. I love that junior
Yeah.
class.
Do you still have good relationships with some of the people who have already graduated?
Yes. We go out to dinner with this kid who graduated a few years ago, Finn.
Yeah.
He's at the Citadel. He's a junior now. Yeah, we go out to dinner with him like twice a year. He calls us a lot and will just like tell us about his life. Layla, Baird, I see
Yeah.
constantly still. So it's nice. It's nice to like see them in college and see them thriving and being happy.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
Yeah.
So speaking of college, what was y'all's college experience like compared to the high school?
I think I wasn't the greatest high school student academically.
Okay.
Okay. I did fine. But I think when you get to college, a little bit later on, you have your fun years in your freshman and sophomore year, but when your majors classes start to really kick in, you start to think, well, this is my life, and
Yeah.
I really should try to give it my all. And so, yeah, I think academically I really thrived in college, kind of hit my stride. So that was I was more focused on the sports side when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Didn't put much effort in the studies.
Yeah.
For me, I loved high school. I feel like I really thrived academically and socially in high school, really loved it. And so then that first year of college was hard for me. I moved really far away. I went to a small liberal arts college in New York City, and I had grown up on a farm, really like rural community. But so struggled a little bit to kind of figure out like what I wanted to do and where I wanted to be. But then I went to Ole Miss and joined a sorority, and college was so much fun.
Yeah.
Like the best time because you like don't have any responsibilities. You're young, everyone is there to learn, so you're all kind of doing the same thing. I felt like I honestly had more money in college than I do now because we have kids, so like your money is just spent on fun stuff like going out to eat and clothes and trips with your friends, and it's just really, it was like the best time.
Yeah. What's your like best memory from college?
Best memory from college. Man, I don't know. I mean, I was in a sorority, like I said, and like probably like rush weeks were always really fun because it's like really long hours, but you're just like with your friends and like, you know, you're talking about your sisterhood and just all that like stuff that people think is lame, but I think is really fun. Female friendship is just the best.
Yeah.
Girlhood, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So probably rush weeks or just I lived in the house, so like just basic times being with my friends because you don't get that again, you know, like when you grow up you have other responsibilities, which is amazing. I love the phase that I'm in and I wouldn't want to be in another phase, but in terms of like female friendship, that was like the best time for me in terms of my friendships.
I was very anti, Greek life. But I mean, I guess you kind of just have your own little group. You build it in when you get into dorm life first. You kind of
Or
have
if you rush.
yeah. You build up your kind of friend group, and I think that culminated with just a group of us as juniors getting a house together, which was
Similar.
I mean, that house was literally shut down. The next year was so gross. Yeah, it
Why
was
are you
definitely
against Greek
condemned.
life?
It's just weird. It seems, why are you paying for
You're
your
not
friends?
paying for your friends.
Paying
It's
for friends.
not paying for your friends.
It's weird.
We're very different, clearly, but it's not paying for your friends. It just gives you a social outlet.
Yeah.
Seems culty.
Culty?
Yeah, but in the best way. I actually would have, I mean, it is kind of culty, but in a fun way. You're not being
Yeah.
mean to...
Greek life in the north is way different than Greek life in the south.
Right, it's different.
Way different. And are the fraternity houses on campus?
Yeah.
See, everything was off campus.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
not
you can't
affiliated.
have-
And in the north, in Michigan, at least in Michigan, it's not affiliated with the college.
Oh, it's
whatsoever.
not?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
So
that's
it's a lot
weird.
different.
Okay, ours was very much affiliated.
Yeah.
Like,
the
they're all
South
on
is
campus.
very Greek life.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of how you like make not how you make friends, because like I understand the argument of, you know, you're paying for your friends, but I think like you pay to live in a dorm room and that's where your friends come from. So you could use that argument in any situation, but it gives you an outlet to like meet a bunch of different women.
Yeah.
You know, and my sorority was so big that there was so many different types of women to meet that you could, you know, there was an outlet for everyone.
Yeah.
I also played college or soccer in college, and so I had that fraternity technically. That group of kids.
Way worse than a sorority.
Yeah,
We just bought each other gifts and stuff.
Those were some of the best moments going, state to. We played usually just regionally, and going from state to state, and playing other teams, and just and just having that experience on the weekends it was really fun.
So I have a kind of completely unrelated question to all of that. Mr. Morelli, you know John Casadas, right?
I do.
He's got a class right in front of yours. He has a really nice guitar in there.
Yes.
So I'm thinking maybe you give us a little show.
I'm
You need to
very,
join
very
the
introverted when it comes to that kind of stuff, and get very much stage fright. I don't think I'm like the greatest. I played for a long time, but I'm not the greatest guitar player in the world, and I play pretty simple stuff. So,
Simple at like what?
Dr.
Like what?
Casadas is way better than me at it.
I mean, what if I shared the stage with you? I'm thinking you can play a
you
song, I'll
sing.
sing.
All right,
If
fair
that
enough. Because
helps you,
I
I'll do
definitely
it.
cannot. I cannot sing. I have the worst voice in the world. So yeah, maybe for sure. You think of the song, though.
All right.
Well, speaking of music, didn't you have like a little emo phase there? Because you always tell our class about
Have
your,
you
like,
not showed them the picture?
My long hair. Picture?
Yeah, the straightened hair picture. You have to show them that. You should send it in for the podcast.
I think
Yeah,
we
you
all go
can-
through kind of like that phase,
Yeah.
right?
Do we?
Yeah. Oh.
I
Come on.
don't know.
Maybe-
Oh, his hair was just parted and straight, and he did your mom straighten it for you?
No, I got it professionally done.
Oh, he got it professionally
Oh.
straightened for his junior picture.
No, my senior year.
Your senior year picture. Oh wow.
Gosh, that's
Was
rough.
it dyed?
No, never
No
dyed it.
tips.
That's good.
But I definitely had hair down to my shoulders,
Yeah.
and it was like that at our school. Again, we were not allowed to have hair past the collar. It was very, very.
Yeah.
And so it was the one thing I could do to rebel against the school's
Just grow your
rules.
hair
is
long.
just grow my hair long.
Last year, my hair got pretty long.
Oh, was it long?
It was down
Yeah.
here, and I look at pictures like today, and I think, what a horrible decision.
Not a great
yeah.
one.
So I don't know if that's how you feel, but
I have very curly hair, so it was it was
It's actually really. I like your hair long, but maybe not now as an older person.
Yeah,
But
I can never go that long again. No, that would be weird.
So where do y'all sit at lunch?
We well, I have I'm now the head of the hosting lunch detention, so I'm always in my class.
okay.
But that's Tuesday through Thursday. But if not, we go to Miss Derrickson's office and spend some time with
Oh
her.
yeah, I was in there with y'all the other day.
yeah, and I have a lot of girls that eat lunch in my room, like freshman girls.
Yeah.
That just like will sit in there, and so I'll sometimes be in there with them.
Yeah, I've seen them in there.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
cute.
They are
Yeah,
really
They're
cute.
sweet.
I do love the freshman girls.
Yeah, they're really nice. They're really nice.
No, they're really cute. I love them because they're in Vogel, and I've known
There's a lot of Vogel freshmen
specifically
girls that I
Leland
have.
and Reese. I've known
Yeah,
them
for
for like all
forever.
of my life.
Yeah, they're cute.
Yeah,
They're sweet.
yeah, they are.
Sweet little pups.
They are sweet little pups. Do you want to say not on that topic, but do you want to bring up something else, maybe?
What about? Do you have any questions for us?
I'm like, is dating life different with technology? Because we obviously did not have any technology. Well, I know Ellis doesn't have a cell phone, like at all, period. But
Probably.
yeah, it's probably positive. But for us, dating would look like calling like someone's like home phone and being like, hey, is so and so home? Like very
Yeah.
much. Whereas like I feel like so much of what you guys do, maybe parents don't even really know about what goes on. I don't know.
Probably. I mean, like it's mainly Snapchat.
Yeah.
It really is, which is exactly.
Gross.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. That's how I feel too. Yeah,
What's
it
your Snap
is.
score, Ava?
I don't know. Probably high. I've had it for a lot of years.
Jack is calling you out.
He's trying to, but do you have the number memorized?
172,000, I think.
don't think it's.
Is that how many snaps you snap? I don't
It's
have
how many
Snapchat,
snaps you've
so-
sent and
And,
received.
yeah.
Oh,
So
so is
it's
that
like-
high?
I mean, if you
Right?
have a lot of people added,
I've had it.
I have a lot of
for-
people added on.
I've had it for 4 months, and I'm at like 40K,
Oh,
which is
Okay.
kind of bad.
So maybe that shows more about
Yeah.
you than you were trying to show about me. But that's okay. But yeah, the dating thing like with Snapchat is that it's just like I don't know. A lot of people meet on there now,
I know. I find
which
that
I find that a little strange.
interesting.
Like sometimes there will be someone, even at this school, that's just like, I'm like, I've never seen y'all talk in person, but all of a sudden y'all pop out and y'all are dating and like,
right, because they just
how-
are talking.
How did y'all start?
yeah,
talking?
I don't know.
It's
One
kind of
thing I
shocking.
noticed, I think, with technology is that a lot of people are a little more comfortable
Yeah.
behind a screen
yeah,
than they
for
are
sure.
face to face.
For
It's
sure.
easier to say stuff.
It is easier to say
whether it's mean or
Good or
nice or
bad.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to type it out and not actually put your face to it. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great times.
No.
On Snapchat, there's like a thing. It's called Quick Ad, and
you can just,
it's
like,
it's like thousands.
Thousands.
And I know like multiple people who will just go to their Quick Ad like every day and just.
So it's like you're adding people you don't even know.
Yeah.
That feels very unsafe.
Oh, yeah. So
Oh,
much.
so you have
Yeah, so it'll
mutual
be like
friends.
20 plus mutuals.
I feel like that's how people are. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, I don't even know him, but like my friend does, and I met him like via this." And I'm like, "But you've
Yeah.
never like seen him
Like,
in person?"
Yeah, but you've literally never seen him.
yeah, this is how like
remember
Snatch
the obsession
starts.
of Facebook and all that.
Yeah.
when that first kind of came out. And
But I was in
making sure you had
college
so many
before
people
I
that
got
were-
a Facebook. I remember MySpace. MySpace was like
Well,
a
then-
much bigger deal where you had
What
like
was
your
MySpace like?
MySpace was just like this little web. You didn't have a MySpace? Oh my gosh.
No way.
It was like this little like web page that you had, and then you could add like songs and like your bio.
Oh,
But the
okay.
biggest thing is you could have like top friends.
Oh.
So you could have like your top 4, your top 8, and then you would rank your friends like
my
on there,
God.
like their little pictures. Like you'd rank it. I need to
you
find
would have
like.
your favorite quote on Facebook too and stuff. And that was a big thing.
Yeah, or you would
put,
like you
your
could
favorite
change your
song
quote
there.
or your favorite
The
song.
song
And you'd be like, oh my god, that's
The
about
song
me
lyric.
or
You put the
whatever.
song lyric on there, yeah.
That's so funny.
Or that
And you
instant
could change
mes-
the backgrounds and
Remember
stuff.
Instant Messenger and like that whole thing,
Oh,
and
yeah,
just
you
putting
could
in away
change your font.
messages, and the away messages were always
dramatic.
couched with some
Yeah.
hidden meaning, about
Right.
somebody
Yeah.
you liked. Or
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what
totally.
people do with Instagram notes
It's
now.
the same.
Have you
It's
seen
the
that?
same.
That's like they like on Instagram. There's like a place where every single day you can like write in a little note. And I'm not really an Instagram
Oh, yeah.
notes type of person.
I think
Like-
it's despicable.
Yeah, I don't really like
hate
it.
it.
But sometimes I'll see people on there and they're like having the worst day of my life, and I'm like, oh.
Oh well,
okay.
that's dramatic.
I don't
That's
understand
insane.
what like when you see an Instagram note that says like I cannot believe this. Like,
Like, what
I
can't you
don't,
believe?
what do you want us to do?
I have seen like a lot of like some kids will show me like this message is about me, and it'll be like, you know, that like meme, and it's like that one friend that betrays you or like
Oh, no
betrays
way.
your trust,
What?
and I'm like, oh my god. You know what I'm talking about? Kids, no,
Oh
kids
god.
do that.
Kids
Not you
do
guys,
that.
but
Kids do that.
you know, the passive aggressive.
Well, what's
via
okay?
email.
But speaking of you guys, what's it like having us like in your classes? Because we both had your class.
Like
last
you
year.
two?
Yeah.
Beckett is loud.
Oh, that's
Love
okay.
you to death. Beckett is, you will know when Beckett is in your class. But you did, like, you tried really hard and, like, you were engaged in what we were doing. Sometimes maybe too much, so. But, I mean, and I've always enjoyed having you in class. It's just you were loud, which is fine. You know, like.
Yeah, I'm loud too.
You're loud
I'm very
too.
talkative.
You're very talkative.
Which-
I don't see you talk too much in my class.
Oh well, I whisper.
That's
That's
fine.
yeah.
At least you're not interrupting. Beckett's very passionate, you know.
Yeah.
You gotta focus that passion, I think. He came up and asked me, like, I really want to be AP Lang next year. Like, what? And I was like, if you can just focus your attention, sky's the limit.
Fourth quarter.
Sky's the limit for you.
I actually yesterday. I was at a CFC basketball game. I got dragged to a game I didn't want to be at.
Oh.
I pulled my phone out, and I did Act 3, Act 4, and Act 5.
Oh, wow.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I'm on there.
You ready for this quiz today, then?
Always.
All right.
I'm always ready.
Wait, is today a B or A day?
It's a
You got
B
it.
day.
Okay, I have it tomorrow.
It's a B
okay,
day,
so I'm
right?
going home and studying.
Yeah.
No, you know what made me so mad is that I was like, oh god, I know my stuff. I'm doing so good on this like Macbeth stuff. I go in, I take that test. I got an 8 out of 15, and I was like,
It's okay. It happens.
yeah,
It
Reeves had to
happens.
help me
It
with
happens
the
to the
test
best of
corrections.
us.
I was like, because sometimes I just get a little confused. I'm
Shakespeare's tough.
yeah,
and
Shakespeare's
this is,
tough.
this
Yeah.
is just the process of learning how to problem solve. Really.
Yeah.
That's what Shakespeare's language is all about, really.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of cool things you can learn from Shakespeare, but it takes effort. But that's why we talk through it.
Yeah, that is why we talk through it. Okay, well, anything else? Nope. We think we're good to wrap up.
Okay, well, thanks for having
Okay.
us. This was
Thanks
fun.
for
It
coming.
was really
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was cute.
Okay, guys, so thank you for watching our Valentine's Day special. We hope you enjoyed it. On the count of 3, bye.
No, on the count of 3, we're going to say thank you for watching our
No, we already-
Valentine's. No, I just want to say it again. Ready?
But that's not-
3, 2, 1. Thank you for watching our Valentine's Day special. We hope you enjoyed it.
Okay, now we're going to say bye. So on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
On the count of 3, say bye, SOS.
Okay,
What?
never mind. That's not how that works. So
Alright.
1, 2, 3.
Bye, SOA.